Hello guys, welcome to Daddy Share Space and welcome to my channel. So today on this episode of Daddy Share Space Daily, so I got up, I already edited a video which I was going to upload today. However, today is the day that I was supposed to be getting the Festool KHC rotary hammer. And I didn't know if it was going to get here because they said by 7 p.m. It's currently about 2 p.m. And well, let's just get right into it. The delivery obviously came before 7 p.m. I did go to my local Home Depot today and I picked up a few concrete blocks. I was going to mix some concrete and do it, but I felt like the concrete wouldn't have cured that long, so I just went and got a couple of concrete blocks. I've got some bits to test out and all of that. But in this video, we're just going to do the unboxing and overview simply because I think it'd be a bit much to set up for all of the drilling and all of that stuff. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and unbox what we have here. Clever advertising. So I've purchased quite a few things on Amazon and a lot of them come from Hartville Hardware, and so they decided to send me this advertisement which is about the Shaper router, which I have looked at in the past, but it's a pretty expensive router. It looks pretty cool, but not yet ready for that, but I did get the advertisement. So first we have right here in the box the BHC KHC hammer accessory. This is part number 577524, and this is the dust extraction portion of this kit. Let's just set this down right here. Now, next we have our sustainer, and this is going to be our second oversized sustainer. Let's go ahead and pull it out. And there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at it. All right, so you can see the presentation. We've got our directions. We have our warranty inclusive, which we need to go register the tool. It does come with a depth gauge, which is packaged down here. Set that to the side. Let me go ahead and move the paperwork out of the way. Next, we have a Jacob's chuck that goes on the drill. And finally, we have the KHC itself. So let's take a closer look. Let's move the sustainer over to the side. And this is our new KHC rotary hammer that we have in the shop here. Now, let me just take a look at it. This is my first time, pulling it out. So let me just glance at it a bit. So what I do see so far, you've got the 3 settings. Obviously the BHC did not have the 3 settings. It only had the drilling function, just regular drilling, and then it also had rotary drilling or hammer drilling. It did not have the chipping function, which basically allows the device to chip away at material as opposed to just drilling. So as I look at the dial here, there is a button, a green button that you'll push in. Right here by this triangle, you'll push it in, and that's how you switch it to the different functions. And you hear that audible click when it falls into place. So right now I have it in the drilling function. This is the hammer drilling function. Right in this location is where you would be able to change and articulate your bit, which is right here. So if you had a file or a chisel inside of here, you could turn it 90 degrees or however you want the orientation to be. And then finally, the new feature for this particular tool, rotated forward in this direction, that is your chipping function. We can see that it comes with a handle attached, which you can use on either side. You loosen it and you can use it on this side or the other side respectively. So that gives you that. The depth gauge for this particular device is going to fit inside of here. And you could tighten that down. And so if you want your drilling to only go this deep, this is what this is for. Taking a closer look at the device here. So you have ventilation along the side, and then you also have ventilation on the bottom. This is your area where you're going to attach your battery. We have a rafter hook here, and this device has a toggle for forward and reverse. You've got a nice large trigger that you can use with 2 fingers. And when I was watching the Festool video, when they were showing it, they had the presenter pointing his finger out like this so that you would actuate the tool with these 2, with your ring finger and finger over from that, so that you can keep the device in line. Now this is, you know, a nicely weighted device. So holding it out like this, you would get kind of fatigued over time. At least I would. Maybe you're a bit stronger than I am. So here you've got this functionality on top where there's an accordion-like feature to help dampen with any kind of vibration that you would expect to have with a tool like this as it's chiseling into concrete. You've got extra ventilation up here along the top, and here the device does sit here on the table without the battery, but of course if you put the battery in place, it's going to be more stable. This does have the EC-Tech brushless motor installed, and on the side here it says this is made in China as well. So it looks like a lot of Festool production is moving over to China. We know that the Sawzall that I purchased was made in China, and this as well is made in China. Now I did see some people making comments somewhere where I was looking this up, and they said it looks very similar to the Flex rotary hammer. So whether this is just a Flex in a different body, similar to when you look at the multi-tool that Festool makes, which is a fine product with a Festool skin essentially and a few bells and whistles. So this is going to be covered by the 3-year all-inclusive warranty, as long as you do remember to register your device. There's a QR code in here that you can scan with your smartphone, or you can go online and you can type it in manually. So overall, it looks pretty nice. It does have some weight to it. So like if I had to hold this overhead, now once I get it parallel to the rest of my body, it's not that bad, but holding it out like this is, I can feel the weight in this device. So for this video, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pop on a battery. We're going to change the chuck out and just kind of do this overview, and then we'll come back and do another video where I do a comparison between the KHC and the BHC, which is back there somewhere on my tool wall. So right here I have a 5.2 amp hour Festool battery. It's fully charged. I'm going to slide that onto the device. Let's hear how it sounds. So that's in the chipping function. That's the rotary chipping function, or the drilling and chipping. And that's the drilling function alone. Now, if I want to change out the chuck, I'm going to pull back the collet. And this takes off the SDS Plus accessory, and you can see what's revealed. You've got your little hammer action pin there and some dimples on here. And then you could take your Jacob's chuck and you make sure you orient it properly. So there are little balls inside of here, ball bearings, and you want to make sure they line up, and then it snaps into place. You can use this as a simple drill if you chose to. So with the battery in place, yeah, this is a beefy little setup. So definitely I would feel more comfortable drilling down with it, or making sure I'm keeping both hands on this thing. If I had to hold this out away from my body, this would be quite fatiguing for me personally. But overall, it looks nice. I mean, it fits right in, obviously, with the rest of the Festool system with the color scheme and such. So now that we fit the Jacob's chuck onto the drill, let's go ahead and open up this dust collection portion and see how it attaches. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off the Jacob's chuck, and we'll set that aside, and we're going to put on the SDS Plus accessory. And we want to line up those ball bearings, and then once you get it in there, it goes in perfectly fine. And then let's go ahead and open this up. Now, as I look at the image here, it does show. Just want to take this off for a second to see how if I could put it on the opposite side here. Pull this off and pull this cool. And we'll put our gauge in. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this component. So we've got the first portion here, we've got a second extension, and then it also comes with some instructions here, which we will glance over and apply it. Alright, so when you put it on, it looks like they want you to have the depth gauge on here, or at least it's showing it in the model as being on the device. And then as I look at this here, there's a thumb screw right here that I can utilize, and there are two different segments here. So there's a spring on up under this knob, so it's kind of a spring-loaded type of accessory, and there's a KHC and a BHC setting. So for the KHC, I will put it like this and slide it on, and I know there needs to be a certain degree of distance. I think it was something ridiculous like 1 mil or something like that, something very small. So you don't want the chuck to be touching the inner portion here. You want to leave some space. So we're gonna eyeball it to about 1 mil, and then once you get it there, then you'll snug this down to lock it in place. And as the SDS portion spins, it is not coming into contact with the gasket area of this portion here. So, and then when I go to drill, obviously it accordions down, and this is where if you hook dust extraction to this, which is going to be down here. Let me see if there's screws or if it just plugs out. All right, I see a little, there's a little toggle. So this is kind of keyed. So there's you line up the triangle to triangle to pop it in, and then you twist it to lock it in. To get it off, you turn it and then you pull it off. So it's keyed almost like the vacuum hose of your dust extractor. So I imagine that's gonna kind of grip onto your hose when you plug it in. So if I take this and stick it in and twist it, then theoretically I should be able to pick this up by that portion. And then obviously right here, I think I have this is my CT MIDI 18 volt. Let's turn it on. Let's turn on the pairing. All right, so we've got it paired obviously, and it's working. Let's take this off for now. Now, taking a look at the other side of the directions. So as you can see here, we've got the depth setting bar, and I can unscrew it here, and I can adjust where I want this to be located. Now, keep in mind that as I adjust here, I probably want to adjust this as well to keep the 1 millimeter gap between this portion here, which, let me pull it off so you can see it. There's like a, almost like a bristle material right here, and there's a diameter hole there so that you can slide your bit through. So that's going to keep the dust inside of there. Now, when you go to put this in place in the proper setting, you want to make sure that there is that 1 millimeter gap, but then you also want to make sure that you're setting your depth first. So let's say you want less than this, then you want to pull this back all as one, and then position this portion, tighten it down where you want it to be, and then tighten this, or you could tighten this next and then the other one. But the main thing is, if you unscrew the handle and slide your depth gauge, it's going to move this further away, and it's going to decrease your ability to capture dust. And if you move it too far back, like if I was to pull this rod back like this, then it's going to bring the SDS chuck in contact with this dust extraction port accessory, and it's not supposed to touch. There's supposed to be a gap, so you want to be mindful of that. Make sure that you maintain that gap. Now, if I want to extend this component, so this portion here is supposed to come out. So when you want to add an extension for this, you're going to take it off of here, and then you're going to take like one of these components and plug it in like this, and then you'll take this and plug it back in over the top. Like that. And you could do this either way. Based upon what I'm seeing here, you could put the closer portion out here on the end, and you could put the longer portion back here or the shorter portion there. So the main thing is you do want to have this portion here with these openings going towards your work, and that gives you, you know, quite a bit more room to go. You could use longer drill bits obviously with this, and you can kind of get an idea of how it accordions down as you go to do your drilling. So we've seen what it looks like. We've got it all unboxed. We see the components. Let me go ahead and take this off for now. Get rid of that. And then let's see about the bits that I have around here. So right here, I have a bit kit that I bought on Amazon. So I'm not expecting a whole lot. You know, I said I wasn't gonna do any drilling in this video, but I think I may do just a couple holes in this video, and then we'll come back and do a little bit more extensive testing in a different video, just so this video doesn't go too long. So let me go ahead and open this up. We've got our assortment of bits, chisels and such. Let me grab one of those stones that I purchased. To protect the bench a bit, I'm going to put this on top, and then we'll have that there. All right, so let's go ahead, let's start out with one of these smaller bits. Now, the one thing I don't have, which I should, but I don't, is I should have some of that lube to put on these bits. Now, to get the drill bit in, you just push it in, you turn it, and then it locks into place, and we're ready to go. So since I don't have dust collection hooked up yet, I'm going to turn that off so we don't activate it. And let's go ahead and fire it up. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it just chipped right through that. Let's try over here. All right, let's try that with the dust extraction and see how well it does. All right, so we could definitely see there's dust here. There's none here. So the dust extraction is doing something. It's not totally useless, so that's good. All right, let's try some other stuff out. All right, so I'm able to remove this bit here. Let's try the largest bit that we have here, see how it does. So you can funnel this through. All right, we got it in, and probably should add some dust extraction extension here. Oh, I didn't use the proper tip, but that's all right. Let's go here. All right, let's see how it works. All right, you can take a look at that hole. There's no dust or anything that I can see overall by comparison, so that actually did pretty good. Let's do one more of these big ones and then we'll move on to the chipper. So I didn't quite go all the way through, but I'm impressed with what I'm seeing here as far as the ability to drill through concrete. So I don't feel like I'm losing anything with that. Let's go ahead and move over to the chipping function. Let's take this off. So let's go ahead and just try this wider chisel, and then I think I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I'll come back, we'll try more of these bits, and we'll also bring out the BHC as well. So first things first, I want to switch it into the chipping mode. So let's go ahead and pull it over to the neutral location, which is up to the top. Let me turn this bit to how I want it to set, and then I will move it forward and lock it in, which I didn't do just now. Okay, so this is making a huge mess, but I kind of get the idea. Let me see if I can go here. Okay, yeah, this is something that I probably want to do on the ground. But anyways, you get the general idea. I see that the actuation of this, so if you just pull the, it's not doing much, but when you depress it into the channel, that's when you start to get that force that you're looking for in the device. Anyways, guys, I just want to thank you for watching this unboxing and overview. I'm going to get myself set up a little bit better to show a little bit more of this, and then yeah, we'll display a little bit more of the functionality using the bits that I have here, and we will also pull out the BHC and go over that. But anyways, guys, thank you for taking time to watch the video. I'll see you in my next one.